Hey guys, real quick before the episode starts, we had a few tech problems, so there might be a few little awkward cuts here and there. We didn't lose anything, but just a heads up, some little might happen. See you in the episode.
I can't move my head at all, though. It's like I'm stuck right here. Oh, yeah.
Monsters on the screen, monsters in my head. I thought I had a dream, but I was dead. I never woke up. A gambler with no luck. My body's here, but my soul never showed up. And the whole getting sold up. 50 stitches every inch until I'm brewing with the witches in the trenches. Hugs and kisses for the fam. And a bullet for the brave. Where the flowers next to the grave. And the tears fall from the sky. And the brother wonder why they had to qualify. But we don't know about the kid.
He had to leave the coffin. That's real life there. Welcome to From Behind the Barcast. Boo.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. I am Paxton, the out-of-shape fitness trainer, Eugene. We have Clint Baphomet Moses over there. And on the ones and twos, we have Cardinal Kelly.
Bless you.
Hi, man. More on that later.
Yeah.
The mask that Clint is wearing right now, we got to address this.
It is entrenched around the microphone because it's got like a jaw piece on it, so I got it. If I sound weird, it's because the microphone is in
If you're
my
on
mouth.
Spotify, open your phone now.
Yes. And
So what
we're keeping this for our guests, though, because it gets the mic right up on your mouth.
So I've made a pact with Baphomet now. Anytime we have a guest that isn't used to being on podcasts or in front of a microphone, we're gonna make them wear this mask because
If they don't do it right, then you're like, all right, you get the mask.
because the mask keeps the microphone very close.
It's not good for posture for shit, though.
Don't make any sudden movements.
You can kind of get the jaw working if you really
You gotta get that jaw. Show me what that jaw do.
show me what that jaw do. I'll keep it
Anyways.
on as long as I can.
So this will be coming out right on Halloween if you listen to it on the first day. So happy Halloween. Hope you're safe out there. You know how they put all them razor blades and things into apples and kids' candies and
Can't
stuff.
razor blade my mouth right now.
Now there used to be like 3 or 4 years ago they would be like, hey, watch out, some candies have weed in them. You know, some candies are edibles, and it's like no one. This was my first thought was, no one's gonna give your kids, edible. No one's gonna waste their edibles on your kids or whatever.
I made it 30 seconds.
Yeah, no one's gonna waste their edibles on your kids, right? Or curse a kid with that. But then you think about these people are probably pretty high if they have edibles, and some of the packaging.
Accidentally, it might happen.
Some of the packaging, because I have a nerd rope in my freezer right now. It's been there for about 1.5 years, and it's if you don't read it. It is 500 milligrams per serving.
No, per rope.
Oh, it's per rope?
Not per serving. It's not a 10,000 milligram rope.
So,
Each serving is a nerd.
yeah, y'all be careful out there with all them razor blades. And
Don't be snatching bag. That's little dick energy.
that is, yes,
Bag snatching is little dick energy.
yes.
Whether it be a Halloween bag or maybe somebody else's bag.
Yeah. 7 years old, I'm in Mayfair, which Brian West mentioned he
Grew up in, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
I didn't live in Mayfair, but I lived on the south side when I was at that age. And we went to go trick or treat in Mayfair because it was a nicer neighborhood than ours.
There's always a lot of neighborhood commuting, and I'm okay with that.
Well, because we literally thought we'd be safer, not like better candies necessarily, but just a safer neighborhood to walk around in because our parents didn't accompany us.
Well, and sometimes there's a lot more houses in certain neighborhoods that are giving out candy. Like my neighborhood, there's barely. I mean, like, there's a guy down the street from me that does it up huge with a bunch of decorating. He's been decorating for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So people trick or treat some in my neighborhood, but like, I know that probably half the houses don't give out candy.
Yeah, and actually now that I remember Mayfair, literally every house or every other house was welcoming, whatever. So I'm walking around, I'm on the sidewalk, I'm about to get up. I get sucker punched by a kid that was probably a foot shorter than me. Right?
Damn.
And I was like, hey, man. And then behind me, swoop. I had one of the bags with the plastic handles.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo, out of my hand. I turn around thinking it's going to be another Oompa Loompa.
Was it a midget, not a kid?
And it was a teenager.
So they scammed you, huh?
Well, it was a teenager. So I was like, well, I'm not going to fight him. And he runs off, right? So me and my buddy who had both gotten our bags snatched were kind of sad. So we walked back to my neighborhood. I had a brother who was a first-year linebacker at Georgia Southern and a drunk, angry stepfather.
He was like, hell, this is my time.
Yeah, time to shine, baby. So we all get in the truck and we find this teenager and his little Oompa Loompas. My man's had 2 full giant pillowcases. I mean, to the brow. I'm surprised they could carry them.
Like king-size pillowcases, too?
Yeah, like the biggest ones.
A Santa sack.
So we, things happened. And we got home and we piled it up in the middle of the living room floor.
Like a pyramid.
And my stepdad put his arm right down the middle, split the candy in half. We ate our fill, and then we gave candy away for the next 2 years to anyone that came over. I mean, you think about it, like a lot of other kids got their bag snatched and they didn't get their recompense.
No, you got the recompense.
Well, yeah, but the perpetrator got their comeuppance, I guess.
That's good. That's what you deserve on Halloween.
So candies now. We can move right into the rapid fire topic of the Finer Things Club. I'm sure Kelly's probably never seen The Office, but I'll tell you what it is, Kelly.
He'll come over in a few weeks and tell us about how great their show is.
It's a television show that started in Britain by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, and then they moved it over to the U.S. in 2004. Now there's an actor called Steve Carell. Kelly?
Never heard of him.
Okay. Anyways,
All right.
Anyways, so they had a little thing called the Finer Things Club. And later on in my trick-or-treating life, you would know where the full-size candy bars were handed out.
Yes, you did.
But then...
when the word would spread on the street, too.
Oh, dude.
You'd see one of your friends like, hey, 124's got the big ones.
People, there's a spreadsheet the day after Halloween. Everyone gathers up. They send out emails like 448 Park Street.
Yeah. And that's such a gift to you, how when you're like, yes, a full size. Yeah, the thing is, though, the worst thing is like, I didn't like Baby Ruth, not my thing. But you get a full size Baby Ruth, you're like, all right, you got to trade.
Butterfinger feelings.
Yeah.
No, too much teeth. Stickage.
See, how many fillings did you have as a kid? What happened to you?
No, it's just...
After that one Halloween, you had all that empty fillings.
Maybe that's what it was. It's like when the prisoners were complaining for bad treatment because all they fed them was lobsters in like the late 1800s in Maine.
Yeah.
You know? But...
New York, but yeah.
Oh, New York, whatever. So the Finer Things Club. So I ran into a couple examples of things that you will compromise on buying no matter how poor you are, right? So in the past 3 or 4 months, instead of drinking freshly ground whole bean coffee, I've just been drinking what I call construction coffee, which is just like, your Cafe Bustelo, your Folgers, your whatever, pre-ground, whatever. And then I got a bag of beans the other day, and I drank my first cup of it. I was like, oh, yeah, living the high life again. But then it got me thinking. I was like, no matter how poor I am, I will never not buy Cardinal toilet paper.
Yeah, and same way, I got my brand. I stick with with the Charmin Ultra Soft with the aloe on it.
So then as I'm thinking this, you know how, if you buy a car, you notice that same car everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
So then I get to work with my Bic lighter, and it goes out on me. I'm like, damn it. I find a crack style lighter.
The Scripto.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't even want to use it. I was so snobbish about it. I was like, no, never.
Those were only cool when you were a kid, when you take the thing off, turn the flame up to this high and burn your eyebrow, or burn your hangbang like I did. Burning your hangbang is not fun because it's just in your nose. You smell it forever.
Clothes washing detergent.
Yep. I don't go cheapy on that.
I know a big one for you. Let's say you were destitute. Okay.
I feel where this is going.
No. I think you think it's going one way. It has to do with an animal, and he's a big old Labrador.
No, I don't cheap on the dog food from my dog. Not at all.
Kelly, what do you not budge on? Let's start with what we don't budge on, and then we'll go slide and scale.
I mean, when it comes to my kitty, she gets the good stuff.
Okay, what about personally? Like, do you have a personal proclivity? Like, you like Captain Morgan, right?
I do. That's pretty much the only rum I drink.
Okay, so you wouldn't get Captain John.
The Admiral Nelson.
Admiral
Nelson?
Nelson? That's what I was thinking of.
Sailor Jerry?
No.
Sailor Jerry's 100 proof.
Okay.
But it's like going to a bar where they have Pepsi instead of Coke.
Where is that?
In Athens.
Oh,
there's a place right next to the 40 Watt. And I went in
Taco
there,
Bell?
We went in there after a show at the 40 Watt one night, and no captain. It was the Admiral Nelson or Sailor Jerry, whatever the fuck it is, and Pepsi. And
God, double up.
yeah, I mean, it was
It's already a
double
sweet
down.
drink.
Yeah, and she was like just so like Pepsi. Like the other thing was a sin.
Really?
Yeah, they were so on board with the
Well, the
Pepsi
thing
product.
is, if you've ever noticed, you can't have both. Unless
Yeah.
you're like a convenience store.
Yeah.
You go to Taco Bell, it's all Pepsi products. And then Mountain Dew, which broke off, they left the league and created their own. No, Dr. Pepper did, or both of them.
Dr. Pepper used to be Coke and Mountain Dew used to be Pepsi.
Okay, yeah, but they left
that's right.
they left the league and started.
Right? No,
their
maybe Dr. Pepper was also Pepsi because Mr.
Oh,
Pibb
yeah.
was Coke.
own. I'm pretty sure they left their conference.
Couldn't
though.
even get a degree.
Yeah, right. All right, so sliding scale stuff, right?
So something I won't compromise
Oh
on.
yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
That's not beyond for my dog, for myself.
sure.
Is I buy nice beds.
Right.
I buy a good bed. I buy one every. People say you can buy it every 10 years. I buy one every 5 or 6 years. Shoes. I have lots of pairs of shoes. I want my feet to be cozy. I buy a nice TV. When I need a new TV, I go all out. I watch a fair amount of TV. I watch a lot of sports, so I want a nice TV. I play video games. I need something for that. So I won't cheapy on the TV. The TP.
Yeah, especially because you with your Spider-Man 2 and 12K.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there'd be a bit of a loss there.
Oh yeah, one of my friends isn't playing it with 120 hertz. I'm like, amateur.
I won't buy cheap cheese unless it's American slices
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that goes best.
a
on-
lot of food for me. I mean, I don't cheap because I cook so much, you know.
Sure. So then there's some sliding scale.
Super
stuff.
cheap chicken. You're like, what is that?
Oh, no,
There's like
no,
6
no.
extra tendons in it you never even heard of. This chicken had no head.
That chicken had 4 wings. What the hell? Sliding scale stuff. Okay, so like I talked about earlier, the construction coffee. I've only become that way in the past couple months because that used to be one thing I was very staunch about. Then I thought about vodka. So you brought in the New Amsterdam tonight, and it, like I said, whenever you buy a car and you see all you see is that car, everything I saw for the last 3 days was me either compromising or the sliding scale on what I would buy. And I walked in and I could have gotten the Tito's for $19.99 or something like that, and then the New Amsterdam was right next to it, so it was like $12.99. I'll do that. That's a sliding scale.
Yeah, liquor is one of the bigger sliding scale things. I mean, like, I've been drinking a lot of tequila lately. I only go so low. Tequila, especially, like, you know, tequila can get bad. But vodka, I mean, I'll go Svedka New Amsterdam, and that's about it.
Svedka, New Amsterdam, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That's about as low as I'll go.
Tequila.
If I'm going to
bottom.
mix it, though,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. But if I'm going to
Sure.
make like a martini or something, I'm
Sure.
going high end on the vodka.
What's your bottom tequila?
The lowest I'll go, like the average Jose Cuervo Silver.
Oh, I've never even thought of that because that's about the same price as El Jimador, isn't it?
No, it's like $8 less, so half gallon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking a half gallon. What's a half gallon between friends? That's 2 quarts.
I mean, I'm going to drink the liquor. I'm just going to buy the big bottle. It's cheaper. I'm a pay per ounce person. If it's on sale at Kroger, I'm looking to.
I would ask your scale on mayonnaise, but you don't really have one. You have categories on mayonnaise.
But like the best one is the Dukes.
Yeah. Now tell me you saw that Dukes commercial
Which one? And yes.
where they put it. All right, so I was watching. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. It was during a game that happened this past weekend, and they put a jar of Dukes mayonnaise on a kicking tee, and I was like, and then a giant jar of Dukes mayonnaise kicked it through the upright.
That's a goal.
I was like,
Scored on me.
I was like, but then bourbon, the lowest I'll go is Bullet. But Bullet's like pretty much my standard. But when you go below something that, especially in bourbon, they haven't aged it enough. It might not be from Kentucky. They might have used urine barrels from, the methane production facility.
Yeah, bourbon definitely got one where you're like, ugh. Yeah, I don't want to go cheap on bourbon. I don't drink a lot of it, but I don't want to go cheap on it. Wine, I don't cheap on the wine. I mean, I'll go. We're gonna drink it for the podcast. I'm buying what's on buy one get one free at Publix, but that wine's usually double the price. I don't go super cheap. Sparkling wine, definitely don't go cheap. I don't go cheap at all. Like, I mean, I'll do like a cava because cavas are pretty basic. But if I'm gonna get like a nice sparkling wine drink for a celebration, I'm getting something nice.
Speaking of drinks, do you want to let them know what we are having?
We are drinking New Amsterdam vodka. You guys guessed it. And the San Pellegrino Italian sparkling drink, Aranciato Rossa. Sparkling orange and blood orange beverage.
Orange.
Bellissimo.
Did I still?
Yeah. I mean, you put a little bit of the range in there. So,
but because my buddy Justin came over for a party I had this weekend, more on that later, and left this and another one we'll see in the second half.
oh,
here.
he brought the mixer cans.
He didn't drink liquors or didn't drink at all. So he brought this just to have this to drink.
Okay.
And so I made one with the pomegranate one in the second half last night. I made it was like 10-30. I was like, I'm gonna have a cocktail. I'm still a little weak from Saturday more, and I made one. It was like I didn't cut it. I cut yours was soda water and mine was ginger beer, and I made it and it was like, and it's gone. I was like, this is amazing. Back to the fridge, it was like, got sugar content.
All right, so when Clint brought that San Pellegrino thing in, I was like, I wonder if he is going to tell the same story and have the same exact experience I had. And
It's too good to be sugar free.
I gotten it was. It's so.
I just thought it was San Pellegrino flavored water.
I remember the night it happened. I had a gig of Hugapoos. Eric Dahlberg came over here. We sat at the counter. I said, I've got a bottle of tequila.
It was November 3rd.
Yeah, it was a balmy 84 degrees outside.
It is right now inside.
So he comes over, and I bought 2 of the tiny cans that look like the little regatta cans of the San Pellegrino stuff, and some El Jimador. And I just mixed them straight, and I also assumed it was the flavored water.
So it'd be like a LaCroix.
Like a LaCroix, but with some actual fucking flavor.
yeah.
So I mixed the 2 together, and I drink it, and poof, like the devil, it's disappeared.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was the best. Let me look at this can. I picked up the small can. I mean, 8 ounces, whatever. My can was smaller than that. It was a short, stubby one.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Hey, what's the amount of sugar in this size can right here, Clint?
29 grams of sugar, 24 grams, which includes 24 grams of added sugar. So that's 48% of your daily value of sugar. So that's why I cut it with ginger beer, because there's sugar in there too.
In that tiny can, I
can feel the sugar in my body right now.
I was like, no wonder this cocktail was so damn good, especially because it was with tequila. And then when you brought that in, before I could say anything, you go, I have soda to cut it. I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah, oh yeah. I went to the pantry to grab something. I was like, let me get a can of soda to kind of cut this back a little bit.
So we have, do you want to give a little backstory on the Hyman really quick?
Yeah, so I posted a thing on Instagram story this week, and it's a picture of a bunch of people at a church congregation, and it's a lot of you saw. I got a lot of love on it, but it says, "Felt cute, might not tip my server later." And it's a whole church congregation of some crackers that are definitely highly known to not tip on Sundays after church, because they've already given up 3 different offering plates of money, and it's notorious to come into restaurants after church and tip like shit and act like pricks. And so we had a little the original reason I got that was this girl Ellie, church one of our listeners and followers, sent it to me, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. I was like, we talk about not regretting working on Sundays at all, and
so she's in the industry and she works on
as well. And she said, no, she works during the week, but she's like, I was like, God, can you imagine like people going to a strip club after church on a Sunday? Because the strip club's open on Sundays. Can you imagine going in there? And she was like, oh, bless these tight anuses, Lord. And I responded with, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Butthole.
Amen.
Yeah.
Speaking of not tipping, I've prepared a clip. Now, before you play it, you need to follow him. I think it's called Haraway Homestead. So this guy, he's a homesteader in, I want to say West Virginia or something like that.
Probably.
So he's not in the industry at all, but he does really great YouTube shorts, and he has a little dog that he's trained called Minion and 2 cats, and he shows like the everyday life of being a homesteader. But he also talked about being cheap versus frugal in terms of the service industry, and this is coming from a very non-service industry person. And his perspective is it's spot on from the outside perspective. Okay. You're what? Oh, you got to restart the computer? Oh, the video. Anyways, so this guy, he's got a very long beard. He's pretty handsome. His little dog is named Minion. And I think he's got a bunch of followers because he'll follow his dog around and narrate what his dog's doing, because the cats try and steal the dog bed from him. So, and he's a little like wiener dog. Okay, you got him. All right, so this is him.
We ready?
Listen up.
Here we go.
That says, I do not have a net worth of 7 figures. It's certainly possible I could get there, though, and I've known a number of people, a lot of them were my customers, definitely worth 7 figures. Some of them were frugal, and I learned a lot from them, and other ones were cheapskates, and I learned what not to do. If you're being frugal and you decide you want a meal, you might look and decide, hey, I'm not going to go out to eat today because I'll be able to save money by making food at home. Since you're going out to eat less, it means you have more money and you're able to actually leave a decent tip for somebody who's actually serving you. Now, being a cheapskate, which I ran into a lot of, some of these people had quite a bit of money, and they would go out to eat, and they would leave a bare bones, meager, or no tip. If you don't want to spend the money on a decent tip, then don't go out to eat. Now, you wouldn't always have to leave a good tip, but I think you should always be open to leaving a massive tip if the server did everything just perfect and awesome and it was an amazing experience. You don't always have to leave a tip like that if the service wasn't amazing. But knowing that the service could be amazing, I think you should always have it in your mind that you are willing to tip 30 to 50%. Just
I'm in.
I mean, just very general, common sense
Yes, from a common guy.
from a common dude who has no dog in the fight with the industry. You know what
Because
I mean?
when you go, you need to, needs to be factored in.
What if I have the best time of my life with this server? What if this server,
Blows me away.
Yeah, you have to prepare for that,
Or
or at least
actually blows me.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's actually like, and even if it's not, 50%, whatever, you have to be ready to go above a little bit.
Exactly. You
I
can't.
think.
You can't make me say what will be my definite.
It's the quote of the week.
You fuck with me, I'll make you regret the first kiss your father ever gave your mother.
Jeez.
I should put the body mask back on. You fuck with me, I'll make you regret the first kiss your father ever gave your mother. Which came from like a 16-plus show I'm watching called just finished called The Wheel of Time on Amazon. It's for dorks, whatever.
16 plus, what does that mean?
It's just at that age thing. Like instead of R-rated, it's like PG-13, it's PG-16, I guess.
Okay, gotcha.
But she said that, I was like, whoo, shit,
Oh,
I
wow.
like that.
All right, so mine's like kind of funny, and it was from Martin Short, who I've rediscovered through a character called Jiminy Glick.
Oh my God, Jimmy looks awesome.
He was the first. All right, Zach Galifianakis does Between Two Ferns.
There's some new ones of those, yeah.
Jiminy Glick was the first Between Two Ferns, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
format, except
But Martin Short loved doing costumes.
yeah,
Turtle.
No, that was Dana Carvey.
That same thing.
Whatever.
That's right. Martin Short. Dana Carvey got a lot of inspiration from Martin Short.
Sure, yeah. They all, we all steal. So the quote was, he goes, I have a New Year's resolution this year. I gotta get to know my assistant. What's his name better?
That's awesome.
All right.
Versus Ron Swanson just telling people about the wrong name to do it on purpose.
We still don't talk sometimes.
Yeah, I
So
love it.
something happened this weekend that wasn't Halloween.
Yep, it was amazing. It was. Fuck the Gators. We beat the shit
we won.
out of the University of Florida. It was great. It's always the weekend before Halloween. It's awesome. It's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, but they can't call it that on TV, which is hilarious. Them dancing
yeah.
around. They're like, it's one of the planet's biggest drinking events. Like they kind of dance around the
Outdoor
whole
gathering.
thing. I mean, Florida did beat Georgia in one thing. Their fans getting to the parking lot.
When they scored towards the end, because we have the sound on at work.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, not the very last score, but the score before their last score. I was like, is anyone there cheering?
No, that was, yeah, no one. 'Cause they what happens is at Jacksonville, they encourage you to come down.
Yeah.
So once it always happens, if one team's beating the shit out of the other team, and by the end of the game, it's either a sea of orange or a sea of red. And it was a sea of red. And they scored the first drive of the game. They scored, and you have your friends. Shout out my buddy Larry, or not unshout out, who's like he's a doomsday fan of everything. We're gonna lose. He's like, we're gonna lose this game. It's gonna be hard. I'm like, have you watched Florida play all year? He's like, well, not really. I'm like, I've watched three out of four of their games. We've got this easily. I said last week on Travis' podcast, Georgia by 17. Georgia by 23 instead.
A large number, a bigger number.
Yes, a much larger number. Some could say more than 17. And the thing is, the last two touchdowns they got were pretty much like, we got a second and third string in.
Okay.
We put our backup quarterback in the fourth quarter.
Tell me you heard this, because it was kind of rowdy up there, because even though we were winning, we had a bunch of those doomsdays guys where if it was first down and we only got 2 yards, even though we're up
It's over.
24.
Fire him, Bubba. All that
And then
stuff.
there's a Dr. Pepper commercial that illustrated that perfectly.
Oh, yeah, the state, it came out beginning of the year, but it's like, they're like, God damn it, everything's crap. The guys out there burning his clothes. And
Knocking everything up.
And the cop guy goes, hey, it's the first play of the game.
All right,
It's
so-
the first game of the season.
Though Florida, the running back, he gets right on the line. It's so close, but there's like a minute and a half left. The score kind of doesn't matter, but they have to go to the
review,
replay.
yeah.
So I'm in my head going, man, that's close enough. Why are we wasting time? Like fucking clockwork, they come out and
They don't give it to him?
No, the announcer goes, damn, I thought the ref was gonna go close enough. Give it to him.
Yeah,
But they didn't give it to him. But you know, they ran it in the next play.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great.
He goes,
Couldn't
damn
happen
it,
to
I
a-
thought he was gonna say close enough.
Couldn't happen to a worse team. I love the pictures you see. The gay people are like cocktail party outdoors. What the hell is this? And there's a chick, a Florida fan. She's got really huge tits, and she's had a bathing suit top on. She's got a pair of jeans on that are I don't know, about 2 inches long. But she's got on sleeves. Sleeves. She had like one of those see-through things on.
Yeah.
But it was just sleeves and shoulders. But it was like crocheted, so you could, I don't want to show your shoulder, you whore.
Yeah,
You're at a football game in a
especially
bikini
in
top.
front of clergy Kelly.
Yeah, Cardinal Kelly over here. But I'm like, what a weird outfit to wear. You're gonna cover your arms and shoulders. You gotta have some decency here. Does that count as wearing a shirt so you can wear your bikini in the game? Because you can't wear a bikini into a football game.
Right.
You could get into a football game and turn into a bikini and somehow have a bikini on.
Yeah,
It's okay.
but getting in, they're like, I gotta have them elbows covered.
Yeah, he's like, look, elbows was like, because there's some games like when Bama beat Tennessee, Bama beats a lot of teams. They'll start pulling out cigars in the stadium, and people just start smoking cigars in there. And I was at a Georgia game where that happened, and people started smoking cigars in the stands, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have a cigarette because like everybody's smoking cigars.
Once you start like 40 cigars,
Yeah,
you can't stop them
You can't
all.
stop the crowd. So when people start rushing the field, about 10 of them get on the field, you get out of there. Like Georgia Southern did when they beat Georgia State on Thursday night in Statesboro. Travis previewed that with a 6-hour interview from a guy on his podcast last week. Shout out again to Travis for coming on.
Oh yeah, he was
They
great last week.
I didn't know they rushed the field. I waited on a guy from Georgia Southern on Friday, and he was like, "Hell yeah, we rushed the field." I was like, "Did you rush the field?" He goes, "Not stupid." And they were probably 20, and I was like,
I mean,
yes.
rush the field for Michigan win, or that was App State, but whatever.
Yeah, no, Georgia Southern beat Florida, and Gainesville.
Oh, did they rush the field for that?
Well, no, there aren't enough of them there, really. But
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
Georgia
so.
State, why would you? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, college is weird.
Yeah, college
Good
is
old-
weird.
good old-fashioned
I mean, like
hate.
Tennessee, when Tennessee beat
old-fashioned
Bama
hate.
last year, they rushed the field, took their uprights, and threw them in the river. Yeah, they could have used them. Bama this year. But really a little quick Georgia talk. I mean, somebody posed the question: who has Georgia beaten football this year? One of my buddy Larry's like, we haven't beat anybody ranked. I'm like, beat Kentucky. They're ranked number like 19. He's like, we're not ranked anymore. I'm like,
They were undefeated when we beat them.
we
too.
beat them.
Yeah.
When you beat somebody to death and they're ranked, they go unranked usually. That's how beatings work.
especially if they're 19.
Yeah.
and there's only 25.
Exactly. And so it was like we beat everybody. The only thing we haven't beat is your mom. That's coming up
Heyo.
soon. Keep talking.
And that's happening.
But
soon.
I mean, it was great. It was a Halloween massacre, if you will.
And without our big boy,
Without Brock Bowers, didn't matter.
kind of didn't
Duck
matter.
Looked awesome.
One of my takeaways was one of our small white receivers or whoever.
Lab McConkey, you mean? Number 84?
He gets down. He's getting up the sideline, and the two corners or the safety in the corner just knew that he was going to go out of bounds. The last thing you would think was this kind of unathletic looking white boy to juke.
That's Lad. It had to be Lad. It's
He
Lad.
juked, and I think the whole stadium went, "What the?"
And I think he's known for that, but he's been hurt. He got hurt during the summer game, hurt his back, so he didn't come in until like Kentucky was his first game.
He got 20 yards more.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
From the
he
worst
used to
juke
return
I've-
punts, and he returned a punt during the game. I was like, I don't like this at all. But he was our leading receiver for the game. The reason we have little Lad McConkey, who was a 2-star coming out of high school, nobody even had him on their radar. And Kirby went and saw him play in a basketball game and saw his moves on the court and goes, "We can work this guy."
Oh, so maybe he could
He
juke.
has crazy. Like if the ball touches his hand,
Yeah.
he catches the ball almost every time. Like he's got great hands and he can move. He's going to be like a top 100 pick in the draft next year.
Carson Beck. Someone
All the haters on Carson Beck just killing it.
something happened and a ball, like a flag thrown, something like that, and a ball comes at his feet at a very high pace, bounces off the ground.
And caught it with one hand.
He
Yeah.
one-handed it
He got a big hand. He's a big boy.
without even. I didn't know he was 6'5".
It looks like Steve Buscemi, though. He's an ugly fucker. That's fine with me. You know what? I want my quarterbacks ugly. You know why?
I want
They're
my
not-
quarterback
They're not just
ugly.
slaying poon all day long. They're concentrating. And like I like Carson Beck. He's doing a great job. I got my Carson Beck jersey in the mail today. Wanted it for fucking Saturday. Anyways, I want him to get. He's had a little bit of issues with the deep ball, but the guy he's like the number 4 quarterback in the country right now. He's number 1 in the conference. Like, this guy's killing it. He got a lot of hate because people are idiots. But I want him to get a little bit better, so he will grow pro. This is like the best quarterback class we've had in forever coming out this year. So like,
He's already got more yards right now than Stetson
had all last year.
But you know what? For me, brother like me, down here in Georgia as a Georgia fan, I don't care, man. You know what I care about? W's.
You win every game by one, you still win.
W's and L's, man. But I like how Kirby's doing the money ball thing. He was like, I saw this dude play basketball.
Yeah.
And now that you say that, it brings it in perspective for me because that was a basketball juke.
Exactly. And dude can move on the court.
And that safety in that corner, we're not expecting him to juke. They were like, oh, he's going to go out of bounds.
Now, one thing that you probably didn't notice on Saturday, but it became quite evident, was what is our new mascot, Ugga 11, a.k.a. Boom. Look how adorable this little puppy is. I mean, look at him. Just look at him walking around naked on the field with no collar on or a sweater. He got a little hot on Saturday. They took the sweater off of him. It was kind of funny because as soon as I saw him on TV with just this leash on, I was like, why is he naked out there?
You know why they went so young? Because our last Uggas have lasted like 8 days.
Q was Ugga 10 was Q. He was he started in 2016. I think it would have been 2. Q made it about 9. It was like, ooh. Well, they had them both.
Are all the Uggas still from Savannah?
This is
from that one
Sonny. This is the
family?
last dog Sonny Soller was alive for the birth of.
Okay. All right.
But he looks the healthiest of any of our. Like, you guys look like an inbred bulldog. He's not fucking his sister like they do in Bama. And like he looks healthier. Like they saw him walking around. I was like, this is the best. He's gonna last forever.
He looks like his mouth's big enough to draw in a breath of air, unlike the other ones.
He was like moving around and getting out. The last one and just he just sat in his dog. He was like he was an overweight defensive lineman. Just like,
do we have an ice sponsor for the bag of ice that he sits on?
Yeah, and it was his hands were on his hips all the time, like well, and he had, like, remember last year we talked about this on the podcast. At one point, they went to his doghouse, and he was drinking out of a plastic, like, Rubbermaid container. I'm like, get the man a bowl.
Are you kidding me? You are. What?
And it was like the one you use twice and throw away. Like it wasn't even like it wasn't like a good reusable one. When you go to someone's house, you kind of have that back. Like it was like you can just take it with you.
Ah, come on. No wonder
it was a ham container
They'd
once.
throw down a nice ass water bowl.
I don't get it.
Sterling
That's
silver.
why they all
something.
died so early.
Yeah. It's all the plastic.
We need to get him non-bisphenol A metal.
But what a cute little puppy. I mean, I'm just loving it.
So the game always happens near Halloween, and on the second half of this here podcast from Behind the Barcast, we're going to talk about some Halloween stuff. We got some Karens and Darrens.
We got some Karens and Darrens, some Halloween stuff, and we got. I've got. Unlike last week, I won't. My Karen and Darren won't just be a 20-minute rant of me talking and.
Oh yeah, let's
Kelly's sweating over here.
Yeah, let's just explain it just for a second. So Travis comes over. I'm sweating y'all out now. Travis comes over.
You're sweating the most. It's fine.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I've got my sweat band on. I'm a out of shape personal trainer.
He's wearing
dude.
4 under his shirt.
Yeah, right. So Travis comes over and he's like, I got a quick interview to do.
20-minute interview.
20-minute interview downstairs in the murder dungeon.
Which was a lie.
Which was a lie. It was about an hour and a half. So Clint, Kelly, and I are up here. No, well, not Kelly. Clint and I are up here drinking bullet cocktails, which is bullet with bullet, and also I think there's some bullet in there.
Put ice in there.
Oh, there's also some ice.
I put a fair amount of water in mine. But I bought a fifth of bullet. I was like, okay, we won't drink but half of this.
There wasn't none left. So then we get up here, and Clint has to do Travis's podcast with him. They get to having a good time. Their segment goes about 46 minutes. I'm sitting in Kelly's chair with a bullet cocktail.
And I'm sipping one because I'm like, I got to keep my brand up.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll smoke a little bit of weed on this one because Travis was like, yeah, do that. You'll get a little looser. Yeah. Which is, or I'll sidetrack the shit of this conversation, whatever you want me to do. So I smoked some weed. I've had some bullet. And thank God I brought food to eat. Yeah. So I could like soak up because I was like,
I crushed
as soon as we got done with
yeah.
Travis, I need to eat chicken. And
chicken.
Our first break, I was like, I need more chicken. I didn't bring enough carbs.
I think we've waited long enough, and I haven't used this word yet, but I was fucked up at the end of y'all's segment, and then it's time for us to do our podcast. I'm like, here,
yeah. And thing is, so by the time it was all said and done with platonic podcasts, we had been
five and a half
hours. And I'm like, that's a long time to be. And I didn't have to drive because Travis drove. So I'm like, I'm going to have to get a little lit.
Drinking, yeah.
And so he doesn't drink really. So I'm like, I'm fucked up. Let's try to do a Patreon. I'm sorry, Patreon subscribers. We'll knock one out for you tonight. It went from talking about
Y'all didn't do one?
No, we did.
we did one, but it's not consumable
You ain't never gonna hear it
because the thing is, the topic.
That's a purest Patreon.
No, not this one. The diversity of topics started with basically like waking up almost having a wet dream to masturbating, things you masturbated to, and then it went into financial talk.
about Bitcoin and Sam Bankman-Fried, but I don't even think it's the
We were
subject.
too drunken high to talk
Yeah.
about Sam
I know
Bankman-Fried.
the subject matter wasn't the problem.
Sam Masturbateman-Fried.
It was the fluidity. We were like, so anyways,
And I'm sitting in the middle, and there's like a good 5 minutes where I'm just for once in life just checked out. I'm not talking. I'm not looking at anything. I'm sitting there. I'm like, and they're like, you know what he said? I'm like, I just don't want to talk about this anymore.
all right, we'll see you on the second.
Hey guys, Paxton here. I hope you're enjoying the show. And if you are, there's a few simple things that you can do that will really help us out. Number one, whether you listen on Spotify, Apple, Google, or wherever, you can drop us a rating and a review if you haven't already. Positive or negative, we'd love to hear from you. And the more ratings and reviews that we receive, the more we'll be put in front of new audiences. Also, if you listen on Spotify, you can easily share episodes to your Instagram stories. If you watch us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You might not be. And finally, why not shoot us an email with any service industry or just general stories that you'd like us to share? We always love hearing from you, and we love using your stuff. The email is FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com. Can't wait to hear from you, and enjoy the second half of the show.
And welcome back to From Behind
back.
the Barcast Halloween edition.
Yeah, we're drinking out of red Solo cups because Georgia, Florida. Travis, shout out to Travis again from Hot Grits. He said all he does the week of Georgia, Florida is drink out of red Solo cups.
Also, shout out to Carson, one of our listeners and Patreon subscribers.
How about them dogs?
How about that? She's a real good sport.
You know what's
about
great?
it, and
To be a gator hater.
so, a thing that I did when I was in Moultrie, Georgia, at a work camp, and I worked outside every day. It was a prison work camp, and I was in there the week of Georgia, Florida. Did some time there, and for that entire week, while we were out in the blazing sun, because in Moultrie in October, there's no wind, there's no trees barely,
There's no God.
there's no
There's no Cardinal Kelly.
there's no Cardinal Kelly. We're just out there cooking, and we had the choice of Gatorade or water.
Water.
I drank water the entire week, and that was one of the times that we actually, back in the days when we didn't.
Yeah, it gets
Always
talked about
beat
like
them.
Georgia. People like Georgia's just on a little small streak right now. Nah.
So
Everyone's
is
7 out of-
Georgia like Powerade?
Yeah, it's all we.
Just-
every other
Yeah,
team.
yeah, I think that's
every
'cause
other
that's
team in the
Coca-Cola.
SEC drinks
Just on
Powerade.
principle.
Every other team in the SEC drinks Powerade, which that's the best thing that ever happened to Powerade.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, whoa, thank God.
Well, it's just like Kelly. Have you heard about the Bud Light thing?
No, I haven't.
No, seriously, Coors Light. I looked at our cooler. I was like, or our walk-in cooler. I was like, oh God. It used to be 40 stacks of Bud Light cases.
It's going away now?
Oh man, now it's 40 stacks of Coors Light cases. It's kind
ready.
of it's kind of crazy.
How was work this Halloween?
Yeah. So what happens is typically at Huckapoo's we have a pretty large and in charge costume contest. And I got to work, and typically when we have something like that, the stage is set up on the outside. There's like speakers out there for people to speak through. Eric, the
Is that what
owner.
speakers are for?
Yeah. Speakers to speak through, cigarettes to smoke on,
Drinks to throw on the floor.
glitter to throw in people's faces.
Shout out
And-
to Renee.
And none of that was set up. So I was like, oh, are we not having the costume contest? Well, we were. But I'd kind of forgotten because when I got there, the Georgia-Florida game was on. We were very busy, but because people want to watch that. So then afterwards, we completely cleared out. And I was like, all right, here's the calm before the storm. Here's the hour I get to find my center and find my chi.
Your Harry Center.
And widespread panic was in town for 2 nights. I didn't realize that they were here Friday and Saturday night.
Oh yeah, I got something on that there.
So part of our crowd,
What? And there's and if you've ever been to Huckapoo's, a large swath of the regulars do actually like those kind of jam bandy situations.
the spread wide havocs of the world.
Nobody in my room.
And then also a very handsome comedian was in town, Matt Rife, who
I thought you meant me.
who I never wanted to like because of his handsomeness, but apparently he's pretty funny.
Yeah, he
so-
made me like him on the Two Bears podcast, and I was like, what? I was like all these girls when he was coming to town, like Matt Rat's coming. I'm like, don't know shit about comedy. And I was like, it's just because he's good looking. And then I heard him on that. It was like, damn it. And I mentioned him a couple times. And then my phone was like, oh, you want to see more of this guy? And I watched a clip with him and was like, God damn, his crowd work is phenomenal.
So I'm looking around.
Not his fault he's handsome.
I know, but it's just, isn't it weird how it's a hindrance if you're a comedian, if you're handsome or good looking?
They talk about it all the time. Like women, you can you take one lane. Either you dress up real tight dresses and shit and like kind of talk about your sexuality, or you just ignore it and go the other way.
Or you can do Chelsea Peretti. When she used to do stand-up, she might still do it. Chelsea Peretti, she's married to
Jordan
Peele.
Jordan Peele.
And she's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, whatever.
Oh, nice.
I saw her on a stand-up thing. She walks out and she goes, I'll give you a second to figure out if you think I'm hot or not.
She had a big old booty, though.
She got
dude.
a giant booty, yeah.
And the thing is, during certain shows like that, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they try to kind of work around showing too much of it, unless that's like a theme of the episode, of like showing girls' butts in it. Some of them are like, does Santiago have a nice booty? Because she's Spanish.
Dude, stop it. Every time I see a show like that, I'm like, I will wait long enough to see if I get a booty shot. Just to see if the ass is fat.
3 seasons later of How I Met Your Mother, you're in there like, God damn it, this, and you see those booties, you're like, damn it, not even a good one.
So
nothing's worse than waiting for the booty, though.
And never.
Sometimes, in the wise words of Mo's Steph, ass so fat you could see it from the front. Sometimes you can see it from the front. But sometimes you're like, and sometimes it'll surprise you. But now with the BBLs, you don't even know. Kelly, do you know what a BBL is?
No.
I don't even know that. So
a Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Some of them have that naturally.
Just say Brazilian butt.
So Eric Thomas, the owner of Huckapoos,
all the time I say
he loves events. You know, no matter
Good
what.
God, does this man love events?
No matter what the event is.
Wait, did you get to use a microphone? Because then yes.
Yeah. Yes. So he loves having people gather. He loves, just kids having fun, adults having fun, whatever. So
I think he's more pro kids, honestly.
Pro kids, honestly, yeah.
Now, 12 years ago, he was like, there may have been a little bit of balance. Now he's like, after all these goddamn adults. Maybe it was just us, he does. We have our pre-crew events.
So I'm sitting here waiting on the tide to come in, right?
Not the tide that rolls.
No, yeah, not the roll tide. I'm waiting on the tide to come in, and like, there's a couple people trickling in with costumes. Eric goes in the back, comes out as a perfect Hulk Hogan. He goes, I had to go take a pair of
So what did he just tear his tank top open?
He was like, I'm not going to tear a shirt off, man. I want to steal the show. I was like, I don't think there's anyone to steal the show from. More on that in a second. So he's got a pair of tidy whities. He goes, I couldn't find yellow like
Tell me he's
Speedo. He spray painted them yellow, and they looked perfect. I was like, Eric, you seriously
do you wear them backwards so that the front part looks more flush?
Maybe he did.
And if you got to poop,
I was like, Eric, those look perfect. I was like, that's spray paint. That looks perfect.
The thing is he had a yellow dick later.
No, he wore them on the outside of the red tights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had the red tights, and then
okay. Because there was a moment where Hulk was bare legging it, and they shaved their legs for that too.
So there's a dismal turnout for this thing, and I'm just waiting on people to show up, and like a handful of people showed up, like kind of early.
You said Matt Rife and Widespread Panic.
Widespread Panic's going on, and a handful of people show up early, and Eric will pop out like every 10 or 15 minutes, like with a microphone, like, does anybody want to sign up for the costume contest? Any costume?
And so did he try to like encourage people that didn't want to be in the contest to be in the contest?
Well, maybe not on purpose, but he walks inside, and I think he's got that in his mind, and he goes, hey, he sees this couple. He goes, hey guys, I love your costumes. Do you want to sign up for the costume contest? And they kind of cock their head like Michael Myers does after he stabs the guy into the door in Halloween,
or a confused dog for everybody else on the planet.
What, you never seen Halloween?
No.
The John Carpenter
I have
movie?
never seen a single Halloween movie. Not the actual series.
Shame on you.
Yeah. So, what are you,
Shut up,
Kelly?
Bud Light.
What are you, Kelly?
I'll watch it next month.
So they cock their head to the side. They go, what do you mean? We're not in costumes.
Oh.
So I see the couple later.
I love your ugly makeup.
I see the couple later. I was like, oh, he thought they were dressed up as like a white trash couple. And then an actual white trash couple entered the costume contest. But
same clothes.
It was
same outfit.
Basically, but it was not them.
Eric's like, y'all would have beaten them.
So then as the time is coming to, because it keeps getting postponed to have like the ceremony, couple groups show up. Like this dude had like some gangster looking kids. They looked like 20s gangsters. And then some other people.
1920s gangsters.
1920s gangsters. Some other people came in, but it was taking so long because Eric was kind of waiting to gather a bigger mass of people.
Yeah.
that half of those people left. So by the time it was time to have the costume contest, it kind of petered out, and Dreidel Mike won. You know, he was some sort of Sith Lord or Jedi or something like that.
He had a lightsaber with him.
What
color was it?
Blue.
Well, that's not a Sith Lord.
Well, he was a Jedi. He was a Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah. So they won, but everyone who showed up without thinking I would hear them, they're like, what the fuck is going on here? Is anyone in a costume? I was like, I'm just as a I was in the same clothes basically. I'm a fat personal trainer.
So in that, I had a party this weekend, and I either usually go to a Georgia, Florida party at my buddy Dustin DeLoach's house, but he didn't have one because he had people in town. I was like, I'm going to have one. Haven't had a football party all year for a mass gathering.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you normally had them.
I don't know. This was probably one of my first ones since at least when I lived on Tybee, I'm sure I did one. But my buddy Poe came down from South Carolina. Shout out to Poe. And I told Rob early in the week. Rob and I planned this 3 weeks ago. What we were going to do for this damn game because he was going to be able to be there. We like to cook together and stuff. And I said, if Poe comes to town and is going to stay the night, we stay home, and that's good for all of us financially and probably I don't know for our livers it might have been worse. But I was like, if Poe doesn't come, let's go to Tybee after the game. We haven't been to Tybee yet at this season for a game. Let's go after the game. If Poe doesn't come, Poe's not going to want to go to Tybee, so let's just not go. And so now, thankfully, thank you, Poe, for coming because like that we didn't go and it ended.
It's like, hey, we know we're going to be settled here. We're going to stay here the whole time. That takes a load off of your.
Yeah, and so instead we forced Poe to watch the Juvenile Tiny Desk concert, and the first song Poe was kind of.
I'm sorry. What?
The Juvenile Tiny Desk concert.
Thank you.
And we're sitting there. I'm watching Poe. The first song. He's kind of like, and he's like, it's kind of good. It's kind of good. And he's like, then he's super into it.
Dude, it's infectious, baby.
It is.
So
that know you're gonna come on you.
So you bring like famously Ron Swanson's like, hey, I need to make sure you have enough fridge space for 12 deviled eggs.
Yes. So shout out to Carl. Thanks for the fridge. I got a used but new fridge to me, and I had a pretty decent fridge. Anyways, there was some fridge hand-me-down going on. V, got you one. It was the worst thing ever. So I've got a bigger fridge than I've ever had before, and I have a whole drawer that slides out. It's like I guess it would be like a snack drawer. But it slides out to the. It's like, there's your regular drawers.
All right, there's the crisper.
There's two crispers.
Okay.
And then I guess with the meat and cheese drawer is at the bottom.
Yeah.
I tried putting beer in there, but everything rolls in it, so like you don't want to roll your beer.
No,
so
you don't.
it's got two things of Parmesan cheese, like 2 bricks of Parmesan. I was like, I don't know what to use this for.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the fridge will fill up today. It didn't, but it got close. So people bring all kinds of shit that you want or that you don't want, like a to-go drink from somewhere. I don't know who brought it. It was like, I sent you a picture of it because it was such a mystery. It was a full beverage, lid and straw.
Lid, straw, and it was in the same cups that Huckapoo's gives out. 16 ounces with the same types of lids.
Yeah, and no other restaurant has those, so it could have been Huckapoo's.
I mean,
it had a straw.
Not a lot of places give you 16 ounce.
That's true. Yeah, we have them at our job, but anyway, so I'm like, I'm studying this damn thing. I'm like, it's not from my work because we don't have these lids at work.
Right.
And we have a slightly different kind of style of cup. And I'm like,
yeah, so now you're differentiating the cups. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have the logo for where I work on them.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I'm like trying to figure out who and where, and I don't want to drink it. I smell it. It smells kind of like it's got cranberry in it, but I'm like, what a weird. And you bring it, you put it in the fridge. What are you doing to drink anyways? So I had that. I had there's an entire jar of pickled red onions I found this afternoon. They were behind the 12-pack of Coors, the 11-pack of Coors Light someone brought and left. They had one beer.
So someone brought a 12-pack and drank one?
And drank one,
yeah.
and which is good because I had one with my pho yesterday. But then like there's just random things these Pellegrinos my buddy Justin left. Because when you bring things, you don't usually take them. More on that in just a second here. But all kinds of just random shit in my fridge. One of them was a 20-ounce pink lemonade soda of some sort, and I got really high yesterday, as I do when I'm hungover, and I was like, I have a sweet tooth, but there's a quarter of a cake that Poe left, like a nice cake from Publix with like decorative chocolate chips and shit all over it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to get into this cake. So I open it, so this is going to be kind of sweet. I took a sip of it and was like,
was it like a 20-ounce plastic bottle pink lemonade?
Triple the sugar these things have in
Oh
them.
yeah, dude.
It was like sugar infinity. Like I took one sip, I instead had the cake Because it was less sweet than the goddamn soda was.
They list the amount of water in it, not the amount of sugar, because the sugar is the dominant
2% water added.
2% water added.
So, like, the other things get left. Like, Rob made a bunch of. We smoked pork tenderloins throughout the day, sliced them up real thin, like almost like Rare Plus. Made sliders with them with like deli sliced meat and cheese. He left the turkey right in the front of the refrigerator, which I saw last night, and made some stone food with it. Today, when I'm moving things around to find shit, holy pack of Swiss cheese in the back. So you just kind of find random things left over, and it's good things.
Yep, right.
Unless someone puts food somewhere it shouldn't be, and you find it, and you're like, God damn it, whatever. But
What if someone brings a dish that no one touches?
okay, so is it okay if someone brings a dish to your party, right, and nobody touches it, eats it, anything? Maybe they're offended. Maybe they brought two of the same thing when we got into one of them. Is
Or
it
maybe
okay?
it's a weird casserole that you can't tell what it is from the top.
Yeah, it's a mystery thing no one wants to mess with, or it's Brussels sprouts. We don't know. And so nobody wants to eat this thing, and it's left over. Do you take it back with you? And if you do you say, well, I didn't want to lose my casserole dish? There's ways to kind of, I don't, if I bring something, like if I bring 4 bottles of wine and we drink 3, I'm going to take the unopened 4th bottle of wine with me.
Unopened.
If you bring a bottle of liquor to share, now I was, BYOB, some people bring things only they drink, take it back with you. I'm okay with the liquor thing. Unless you bring a liter of vodka and we're all drinking it and there's 3 shots and I watch you take that, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. You need to look at me and go, I don't have anything else to drink at home. Tell me why you're taking it.
If you like scotch and you bring a bottle of scotch and no one else drinks
Take
it,
it with you.
take it back with you.
I'm not gonna drink it.
Because the host is.
Carl used to leave scotch at my house all the time because no one was getting into the
It's like
grouse.
no one's touching that
into
shit.
the smoky grouse. But every now and then,
Yeah.
you got a friend over who's like, I can't drink, insert liquor they can't drink. That's all I've got, vodka or tequila.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's late at night and we're out of beer. They're like, I'm going to get into this scotch.
What's up with that famous grouse?
And
over there?
I watch them about 3 or 4 sips in. They're like, I can get used to this.
Yeah, this is fun.
So, yeah.
Before we forget, though, because I wanted to mention this, speaking of Halloween costumes, Kelly, as he always does, told us a pretty funny little anecdote, or Cardinal Kelly.
Yes.
You wore it in, like, before a debutante ball? I mean, you'll see this thing on the internet, but...
Father bless us.
Yeah, I was living in Sarasota before I came to Tybee, and I went to basically a costume ball, and I was dressed up as a
That's a cardinal.
Cardinal Kelly, yeah.
and all that. But went out afterwards for some drinks after the ball and all that, and people were buying into all of it. Like, they wanted to tell me everything. I'd be in the bathroom line. They're just like, I can't believe you're out here amongst the flock, and God bless you. To the
Father,
point
I'm about to
where
go in
you
here and
slide into
sin.
the bathroom, and I'm in the stall taking a piss, and the dude's in the other stall. And I was like, hey, can you hear me over there?
Confessional Kelly.
Yeah, Confessional Kelly.
Confessional
Yeah.
commode Kelly.
And I mean, it wasn't intended to be,
No,
but I just played the role,
I'm not here to judge. I'm here to listen.
Absolutely.
I'm here to forgive.
Absolutely.
I'm here to forgive.
I'm
here
here-
with the Father and Son
I'm
in the
merely-
holy
I'm merely a
butthole
vessel.
in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's funny, they walk up and go,
Commode confessionals with Kelly.
because, sometimes when you're dressed a certain way, you forget.
Just
maybe.
because I'm dressed this way.
You forget sometimes, and someone walks up to you and they're like, hey, listen, my grandmother's really sick. I'm just wondering if you could pray for her.
Absolutely. And I was drinking Guinness that night, so that, I didn't
Oh,
do the
hell
Irish-
yes.
I
Good
didn't do
move with the
Irish
Guinness.
brogue, but, and this wasn't.
Did you touch
close
some
to-
kids to make sure they knew you were real?
Yeah, and it wasn't close to Halloween, so I think that's maybe why people were really into it. Like,
It wasn't even close to Halloween.
yeah, this was
buried
middle
the
of the
lead.
summer. This was middle of the summer when this thing
because it was
went
a
down.
costume. Okay. When you said costume ball, I just assumed it was
Yeah,
a seasonal thing.
Anyway, debutante balls. There's the big dress that looks like a prom, and then there's the other one that's like a thematic.
It's so much
theme.
better than it wasn't Halloween.
Yeah. Oh God.
No wonder they're buying into it.
It was an Eyes Wide Shut party the night before the debutante ball.
Yeah.
Because
The kid's birthday party.
those debutante balls.
Stay away from my
People were
child.
taking serious comfort in the conversations they were having
Comforting
with
Kelly.
me.
It's great though.
Comfortable Kelly. These
I mean,
names,
it just keeps rolling along.
these names will never end.
Yeah, they won't. They
But
won't.
it's never fucking comfortable. There is no comfortable.
Oh shit, it's the Karen of the week.
That
It's the Karen
Mask
of the week.
Yeah, I'm trying. With the
Oh shit.
Yeah, probably.
Oh shit! It's the Karen of the week who is never
see what we got
comfortable.
Just
Clint Karen is
That
going to
works
start. here.
Yeah. Am I in there?
I mean, if you're gonna, your first one's pretty short, so I guess you
Oh,
can.
thank God. All right. Fuck.
Can you even
I
read?
can't read through my phone.
Dude, screw the mask, man.
It's all right. No, we're going to do it. Okay, goddamn. How's the wig?
The wig's beautiful, baby.
Wait, hold on. How's
It
that?
looks as good as it always
that what we wanted to
does.
do?
Got it. That's got
All right. Well, it's a common
precarious.
Karen and Darren theme here. A fucking kid. However, the kid's not the problem here, which is usually the kid's the problem because the parents are the problem. Just like this mask. It's an older couple. They're probably in their late 40s with a toddler, 2-year-old. And the kid's crying when it comes in. I get it. It needs some stuff. I'm like, can I get you some French fries? I give them free French fries.
Free
Just
French
be
fry
quiet,
Friday.
little thing, whatever you are. And I go in the kitchen as I do and complain occasionally, and I'm like, it won't be quiet. And the two guys just start laughing. They're like, it. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't want to assume it's gender. And so, straw would have been great. And so they're not making this kid be quiet. They order a tremendous amount of food. They ordered 2 full-size apps, a salad and a soup. I assume they wanted cup and small salad. I bring them out and they're like, no big sizes. I'm like, okie dokie, here you go. Then she ordered a sandwich dish. She goes, I'll just have one of these lobster and shrimp rolls with fries. I'm like, okay, and sir, what are you going to have? He tells me his entree, and I'm like, all right, so I'll be back. She goes, oh, no, I'm not done. I'd also like an entree with this side of sweet potato mash. And I'm like, okie dokie. So this is 4 courses of food. Now, all the while, the kid's just going,
Toddler.
yeah, whatever it was. And so it's weird because I can't hear myself. That'll help me a whole lot. And so,
You look like a devil DJ. It's scary.
hey, it's me here sitting on the ones and twos. That's right. At least
Baphomet
one
on
or
the
two
one-
of you are going to hell.
Wendigo on the ones and twos.
Yeah. And so the kid keeps making noise. And what Mom Karen does is Mom Karen goes "Urk," and pushes away the high chair from the table. So now the kid is 4 feet from the table. Thankfully, they're against the wall, so the sound's coming everyone else's direction, and it's just wailing. Because unbeknownst to me, it's not that it wanted French fries, it wanted sweet potato mash, and they had just shown up. The kid's been screaming the whole time. And we're like, and so I guess the kid didn't ask politely because it's 2. So Karen just goes, "Arr," and they just proceed to eat, ignoring this kid. Now, I am talking to a new table, a young couple in their like mid-20s, good-looking people. I'm watching them watch this as they sit down. I'm like, how's it going? There's actually a divider I can put up right here. I'll do it. And they're like, hold on, we want to watch this for a second. And I'm like, why? She's like, I can't believe what she's doing. She just slid the baby back. I'm like, what? And I'm watching the baby slide. And I'm like, no. And she goes, oh, hell no. They have a child. She's like, that's not how you if you're going to do that for your kid to show them, teach them a lesson, you do it at home. You don't do it in public. Get them to be quiet because everybody in the room is pissed. 2 of my tables are like, do you want dessert? And they're like, I'm like, I get it. And we're going to go. And they leave because of it. A table of 6 drunk dudes next to them is like taking turns making faces at the baby. Anything anyone can do. It's now a community event.
Everyone's trying to placate.
They just wanted to shut up so they could eat. I mean, the thing's screaming. They had a megaphone. It's so loud.
You know what? It takes a village to raise a kid.
They didn't want to shut up, apparently. And so, finally, she pulls the baby back over. It takes 1 bite of sweet potato mash and is like, hello.
I'm done crying.
I'm done crying.
See, when you first said she kicked it away, I was like, I kind of respect that move. It's kind of gangster.
Yeah, well, if it's next to my table, I'll kick it away. But not if it's my thing.
But you don't push the kid into traffic and let the traffic deal with it.
Hold on. You might want something here. You might have an idea, sir. I think you could be doing something good here.
My baby's crying. I'm going to push it into traffic and make the traffic.
And look, you're going to be
swerve all of
concerned
them.
later, but at some point you're going to go, all right, less baby. So we start talking after the baby shuts the fuck up. And one of our hostesses came by she was trying everything too. And she's complaining about she's got a kid. She brings it some orange slices and starts doing the orange slice in the mouth thing with the baby. Loves it. Now let's go again. We got it. Dessert. I'm talking to them finally because the baby's being quiet and they can hear me. Hey, what are you guys here for? He's in real estate. She's an educator. Oh, my mother, my sister, my grandparents, both on my mom's side and both on my dad's side were educators. I come from a family of educators. We talk about education. She's here to try to recruit people to come work in Atlanta. Oh, cool. They're very well spoken. And I'm like, all right, this is going to, at least on the opposite end, this is going to go well. The kid's thrown everything in the world up in the air. There's just crap everywhere. And one of my servers were like, yeah, they were here last night. They were here kind of late. And what I didn't tell you is the reason I have this table is because she was there on double the day before. So I was like, and a double this day. I'll take this table so you can get out of here a little sooner. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't mind getting them. And then all of this transpires. And then, you know, the best thing that could happen happens. You want to split the tab? Sure. She's going to be able to write hers off. He can't because of his work, but she can write it off.
Okay,
So I get that. It happens all the time.
Understood.
So she tips me on a company credit card, which means you can write it off, which means the tip should be 20% easy. Open tip, 15%. I'm like, oh, well, he's gonna
Fill the gap.
pick up the load here.
Fill the
Because he
gap.
said, what was your tab? He tells her. All right. Nah, he was like, actually, that baby annoyed me the entire time it was here and ruined my meal, so I'm going to tip you like shit. So I walk away from a $145 table with $15 and a shit mess.
You know, it was your fault that baby was there, though.
It could have been it could have been revenge from something I've said about babies. Baby heard one of the meetings. This was a very well spoken, and I'm just, you know, if you're not from Georgia, it's well spoken, eloquent, but middle-aged black couple, and they were very old for kids. You see a lot of white people with a baby that is new, that are old, but not a lot of white people that, you know, it's just not as rare, or not. It's rare. But
It's not as common.
Not as common. Sorry, the mask is really getting you here. But
Dude, the uncomfortable ability that you are in that masking.
I have a wig, headphones, and a mask on. If you haven't been watching, rewind.
Yeah,
watch.
open up your Spotify.
I also kicked a baby while I was over here. Okay, it wasn't very fun, but all that and the table is a disaster. They're shitty. I'll go over there. I'm start picking up stuff, looking for cash, thinking, okay, they could, because they were nice the whole way out.
Amongst all the Cheerios on the ground, there's got to be some cash.
Let's make sure you know it's the worst table in the restaurant because they're the last ones there too. So I have pulled the entire microphone cover off this microphone in here. So the girl that I took the table for is about to leave, and I went, hey, come here, come back over here, clean this up.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, clean it up. She's like, I was like, what? Like, that's your revenge? That's not revenge. You giving me this table. I took it for you.
You knew.
She goes, well, they weren't this bad last night. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Can you please clean up? And she's so cool. She's like, I got it. Yeah. She's the one with the Coors Light, I think. So, yeah, anything for you to add while I don't do anything over here?
Yeah, I've got plenty to add. So, dude, I can't stand you.
Oh, my God, damn.
You were giving me anxiety in that mask.
I gotta put the fucking
especially because the one eyeball was poking through looking at me. I was like, I don't know what to look at,
my
man.
eyeballs was?
I couldn't.
I saw you take a picture of me, and I was like, I gotta see that later. My eyeball's coming through?
Yeah, one eyeball. So people leaving because of,
The baby.
the baby and things happening.
The parents, not the baby.
So my Karen, we all know them. It's Patrick Burns. Just kidding.
Got him! You can come over here if you need to. You got him. Sorry, a little behind the scenes work here, people. I am blowing it off on
All right,
myself.
so I'm not gonna tell him your name, but it's a person we all know.
I won't tell him your name.
Couple walks in. They're probably this is last night, Sunday night, so not the Halloween party. We're very slow. Couple walks in. They're probably in their mid 50s.
A lot of your customers were worn out from the weekend or something.
Mid 50s. They walk in. They're like, "Hey, we just want to grab a couple pizzas to go." I was like, "For sure." Here's the menus. Have you been here before? They go, "Yeah, we were here earlier today, and we just wanted to get a couple more pizzas to take back to the other people that we're staying with because they were visiting for somewhere." They were very nice. The husband and wife are like, "Should we get half a pizza of this flavor, half of that, or 2 whole pizzas?" So they start having that thing. A third lady comes up who is with them. She's like, "Just grab 2 pizzas." Well, let's just grab 2 pizzas. They all slap high fives, agree with each other. Everyone loves each other.
Hell yeah, pizzas.
Right? I'm like, I'm putting that order in. I go back and put that order in. I walk out, and there's a new kid back on the escalator. Someone has entered the chat.
Someone's got on the pizza wheel.
This young lady has showed up. As I walk out, the 3 people who had ordered the pizza, they're like, "You know what, man? This place has like this island vibe, like they're drinking in the energy. They are chewing the scenery, as they say. They're at probably the zenith of their happiness at this moment because
Good word.
because they're like we're about to get a couple pizzas that we loved earlier today. We're about to expose our friends who we're here visiting with on these pizzas. And Karen, who has entered the chat a few minutes ago, overhears them going, man, it's just got such an island vibe. Karen goes, well, you're on a fucking island, aren't you? So I'm like, I know this, Karen. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the kitchen and check on their order that I just put in 2 minutes ago. I know there's
What you said there was a couple, so who's...
No. Couple is just the people who are
okay.
ordering.
Couple's not...
Karen entered the chat.
So wait, you're saying Karen was alone? She didn't have a man with her?
Karen was alone. The couple were the couple were the people that ordered it, and then the third lady that came up was someone that was in her party. No, and then the Karen that came up, that was just wild card.
Just a local Karen.
A local Karen.
Okay.
So I go back and I just want to not be around while whatever conversation goes on. I come back out.
You should start leaving a camera out there, though. With microphones, you can kind of...
Karen's still talking to the couple, the throuple. There's three of them.
It's an island. She keeps saying it again and again.
But she's inched closer and closer to them.
Okay.
Barstool wise. It's like, oh, this is not going well.
Closer, Karen.
I could not. I could see the vibe of these people changing. The island vibe, it wasn't happening anymore for them. So I walk away again, and I come back. Karen is gone, but the three people who were waiting on their pizza have relegated themselves all the way to the edge of the stairs, as far away from my bar as they could get. They
did a non-law involved Karen restraining order.
They removed themselves as far away from the bar as they possibly could. And I was like, I understand why. So I come to, finally the pizza's done.
So Karen cost you money, huh? That's weird that Karen cost money.
No. Well,
that dead?
Oh, I didn't know that one was dead. Oh.
We're fine. Is it just died?
Oh, so they come up. I'm like, I wave them down. I'm like, hey, your pizza's ready. They come up. They tip really well, thankfully. And as they're walking out, here comes Karen.
Costly Karen.
So I dive out just to make sure that there's not one more interaction between these two.
You saved them.
I saved them for their but them removing themselves, they were as far away as they could have possibly been from Karen, while still being able to see me when I was ready.
I need to know who this Karen is.
I'll tell you off camera.
Just write it down and show me so I can
I'll tell you off camera.
Well, I just need to know to continue my conversation here. I want to guess who it is, but it definitely would have. Yeah, that was my guess. That was my guess. God, yeah, Karen with a K.
Karen with a K.
Gotcha.
Not a CH.
Yeah, and Sharon.
I did a whole bit on that.
Yeah. Sharon. So
Christmas.
Sharon. Don't be sharing Karens. So did this person stay and continue to be a Karen throughout the evening?
Nope, they were gone after that.
Oh, she followed them?
Thanks, science. Right? Yeah, she's like, hey, island vibe people, what's happening?
This Karen sounds like a real killer, just like Garth Brooks and Chris Gaines. Both serial killers.
Documented.
But I think they kill different serials. Here's my theory on this.
Okay, the main shooter?
Here's the thing. If Chris Gaines and Garth Brooks are two people, but they're serial killers, do they have the same MO? Or when he's Chris Gaines serial killing, does he have a different MO?
He would have a different one because apparently Chris Gaines is supposed to be from Australia.
Oh, God. It keeps going down and down.
So
under.
In Australia, they murder people different down under. They use different
it's
tools.
Upside down.
Yeah, exactly. They murder them from the bottom.
The blood flows the other way when it comes to the body.
See, down there, 95% of Australia is uninhabited because it's just, you can't live there.
Because you'll die.
You'll die.
Is that where Garth Brooks lives?
The epic.
Is that where Garth Brooks lives? Is that why you can't live there?
That's what I'm saying. Because you will die because he will murder you. You think it's spiders and Gila monsters that'll kill you down there? No. It's Chris Gaines.
Yeah.
It can't go to you.
I wanted you. I wanted to wait. There's only one option. That's why I wanted the option. Oh, I'm doing this for the good of the community. Keep talking. Yeah, Paxton, what's up, man? How you doing? All right. Guess who's back? It's Karen back again. But this time, I think it's French Karen. Turns out she's from Switzerland. So Swiss Karen decides she wants to. Oh, nice. We're gonna do some construction here.
Stay on point.
Do you? So I'll take a break from the camera real quick and tell you something. Just a little PSA. Don't talk on the fucking speakerphones in restaurants when you're in public places. You're an asshole for doing it. It makes you a dare, but it's not worth talking about any more than that. I don't need to describe your lifestyle. You're a dick for doing what you're doing. Stop doing this.
Food allergies. Let's go.
Because, didn't talk about that yet. This guy sits down in the room with eventual Karen, who I thought was French, but from Switzerland. He is alone. He's been riding around the lobby area kind of place by the elevators on a bike. And I'd be like, hey, could you not ride your bike in here? There's about, I don't know, 150 square feet. You shouldn't be on a bike. You're a dick. He's a big guy. So he's like, all right, I'm going to get a table. I'm like, you got to go to the host stand. Well, conveniently, he ends up sat in the room I'm in. Great. And he sits down and continues to talk on the speakerphone. And I was like, there's couple next to him, Karen and her husband, and then three top of ladies. And they're all looking at him because they can hear. I was like, hey, can you mind turning that down? He's like, what? I was like, just get on speakerphone, like, while you're here. He's like, no, it's fine. I'm going to get this. I was like, no. You're not going to get anything. Until you do that first. And so he turns it off, orders his food. I go to the kitchen for a minute, come back, he left. I'm like, that's fine. I didn't put the order in. I knew you were going to go. But Karen next to him goes, you know what? This reminds me I need to be a bitch. Honey, will you do it for me? He goes, I will do it for you. So her husband, Darren, takes the reins. The non-garlic covered reins. She, before going, I have an allergy to garlic, goes, I want to get the scalps. I want to get this and this, and he wants to get this and this. She goes, oh, she's allergic to garlic, like really bad. Opening line, maybe, but don't say, okay. Well, you're having, she can't even touch. Probably should sit at another table. She can't have that. I start going through the reasons. Well, how about you like this and this? And I'm like, here's some things you can have that don't have garlic in them. I don't need that. I just want this. I'm like, let me go talk. She's like, ask the chef about this. Go to the kitchen. Hey, this? No. Hey, what about the soups? The bisque? I'll just give me the bisque then. Ma'am, every bisque has garlic in it. All of them, everywhere. All right, well, then we'll have, how about the potato soup? Like, it's doing the menu. Let me go check. Come back. It has garlic. No shit. Everything's got garlic in it for the most part. Well, you know what? That's fine. He's going to have this. I'll have the French onion soup, and then we'll just work on the rest in a minute. I'm like, and they have what I assume are French accents. And I'm like, the French onion soup has garlic in it. And their husband goes, that's not how they make it. We make it in France. So that's why I'm going French.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, that's how they make it in France. It's got garlic in it.
Also, wouldn't you want me to err on the side of caution?
Yeah.
Of if you're really
I didn't want to kill her yet.
Yeah, if you're deathly allergic to not alums but garlic.
So with the alums, I assume that. So I get her into the scallop dish without the sauce, and I'm like, but there's green onion on this part of the dish. Oh, that's fine. I'm like, you're not allergic to green onion or shallots, right? She's no shallots. I'm like, so just garlic. And I start to wonder, is it the person we talked about before that doesn't have an allergy? They don't need to have this item dietarily wise because it's messes with their stomach, or they just have too much of it.
Yeah.
It could mess with their heart. It won't kill them. They have a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
But garlic's in the alum family, and typically, if you're allergic to one thing in a family
In
of
that family.
things, yeah, then you're going to be allergic to shallots and green onions. And,
At least shallots.
yeah.
And so, on my fifth trip back to the kitchen, I'm like, tell you what do you really need from this? I need scallops. We can do scallops with just olive oil, no garlic, and a little bit of butter. She's like, I'd prefer it to have butter too. I'm like, it's fine. We have olive oil. We can figure some stuff out. And husband goes, well, you can't make the French onion soup just for her. And when you blink real hard, because you kind of concentrate on not punching someone in the face.
I don't know if you've ever made soup before that wasn't just out of a can, but soup is not a thing that you whip up.
At a restaurant.
At a restaurant.
Maybe if someone's at home, they could spend about 30 minutes making you a quick soup. I could probably get a soup out in 10 if I have to. Okay, but the microwave's getting used.
I could get you some ramen.
Yeah, that's what you're getting. You're getting ramen. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Roman noodles? Roman noodles.
All right, they're Italian. They're called a Roma noodle.
I can put an orange in there for you. And so I get the order. It ends up what she really wanted in life was scallops, green beans, and French fries. The classic Switzerland dish.
Sure.
Okay, I can do this. Appetizer comes out. And it was pretzel with beer cheese. I'm like, okay, the beer cheese got garlic in it. I'm like, do you have any non-cheese garlic or non-garlic cheese? I'm like, well, this is the only melted cheese we have. She's like, oh, I guess we'll be okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm not melting anything for you. I'm done with you at this point. Gets her dinner. They're annoying, but whatever. Hey guys, you want to do dessert? There's no garlic in that. I thought I'm being clever.
No laugh from the audience, I bet.
No, all I heard really was but more in a Swiss British accent.
Yeah.
They were Swiss crickets,
Swiss
Swiss hoppers. I can't. And so they don't nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, do you like something for dessert? She goes, I'll have a creme brulee. I'm like, all right, cool. And they spent about $100. They spent $135, eerily close to my previous evening's Karen tip. I'm like, oh no, not again. They have a kid in their bag. They're gonna throw at me in a minute here. Bill comes. 135. He starts talking to her in Swiss, and I'm like, hey. She's asking, I'm like, the tips. It has 22, 20, and 18 on the screen. And I tell her.
Yeah, you have the machine that
22 is for. I have a toast in my head. The 22 is for the great service. 20 is for average. 18 is for good, but not good enough. That's typical everywhere. They keep talking. Custom tip, $15. I've had it with her. I don't say anything. I go get the receipt. I put it on the table. I look at my manager before I go out there and go, I might do something stupid right here. And if I do, write me up. It's okay. I'm cool. I need to do this for myself.
But I'm telling you this just for my own mental
He goes, what are you going to do? I'm like, I can do.
Yeah.
So at the table, and I go, and I may have said this too fast to understand, but Europeans don't complain a lot of things unless it's really bad. They'll just leave and talk about you to their friends in Switzerland. Oh no, our Swiss business is going to go way down from 0.01% to half of that. Ma'am, here's your receipt. Just so you know, when you rest your time you're in America, you need to be tipping 20% on good service. When someone goes above and beyond, like I did, you need to give them more money. That's just the way it is. You'll have a better trip that way. It won't cost you very much. That's the way we do things here. Have a great night. Receipt down, look at both of them, and just leave. I'm happy with what I did. I tell two people about it at work, and they're like, they're going to fire you for that. They find out, I'm like, nah, it's a write-up. And they're like, why? I was like, well, the last place I worked, circa 1875. French restaurant owned by dudes from Detroit. They allowed us 2, 4, 6, whatever the table, if they were foreign, and you knew it was a foreign country that doesn't tip, like Asian
that
people
doesn't have the tip culture.
yes. Or they pretend like they don't know what it is, which is most of the times what's happening.
Sure, but whatever.
They know. Like, either way, you can add 20%, and you say the service has been included in your tab tonight.
Yeah.
That way, they don't tip you anything. And when they go to tip you 20%, you go, hey.
20%.
I would circle it, draw an arrow to it.
Be like, hey, the 20% has been added.
Yeah, this is definitely not a tip. Give me more money. $5 more. That's all I was going to get anyways. And so I did that for 8 years. So that was going to plead ignorance. They were like, hey, don't. So one of my buddies goes and stands by where they are in this back room. And I'm like, can you, just in case they got to come back in, can you just steer them away? He goes, sure. They didn't. Receipts left on the table. They just walked out.
Oh, so you thought that they were going to walk
Say
out.
something maybe.
And
look, I've been burned a little bit in this restaurant. I mean, look, if you've been listening for long enough to know, my Karens have gotten worse somehow.
But you
They're
didn't,
doubling up in 2 days. But
you didn't tell the manager what you did.
No, he asked. He goes, "What'd you say to him?" I was like,
What? I'm not telling you unless
I'm
they
not telling
complain.
you. Do you want to know? He goes, "Nope." Then I don't have to know anything. Great. We have a great new manager, and I'm loving this guy. Because see what he told me right after this. He said, "I guess you can't go away from me." He said, I tell him the story throughout the experience. I'm telling him what's going on. He goes, "Look, next time, tell me if someone comes in with a crazy ass allergy like that, and I'll go talk them out of eating here." And I was like, I didn't know I could do that.
Oh,
I haven't had a manager like that.
That's a whole new life hack.
I've been a manager like that. Vinny was kind of like that. I've had those managers. It's very few and far between. And he's like, yeah, look, I need something to do sometimes. And this is the kind of thing you spend a lot of time on. I appreciate you trying. And I'll defend you to the ends of the earth with whatever you did.
But maybe it's easier to nip it in the
next
bud
time,
early.
just come get me. Whatever this crazy allergy is. I was like, can you hit him with the line? I have a dairy, gluten, a garlic allergy. What can I get? A cab.
Next time, hit us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, From Behind the Barcast. Hit us on Instagram. Send us anything that you think is funny because, like I said, we've used it. We've used one earlier this episode from Ellie. Thank you very much. Also, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/From Behind the Barcast if you want to help support us monetarily. It helps our camera stay on.
We're going to be on a Patreon here in just a few minutes.
Just a few minutes because we have the
And we're going to wear crazy outfits the whole time.
lost Patreon
camera
from last week, but we love you guys, and we'll see you in a few if you're on Patreon.